Reed, if y'all are ready to go.
Good.
Ready? Ready? Staff is ready? Yeah. Let's go with this May 26, 2026 meeting of the Kerrville City Council. Would y'all rise with me if you're able to for the invocation and pledge? Lord, thank you for this place you let us live. Thank you for the rain, the gentle rain so far, and please protect us from hard rain and hail and a flood. Thank you for all the first responders who are out watching out for us and protecting us. Thank you for this city government. Thank you for the staff. Thank you for the citizens here tonight. And thank you for this city council. Watch over us and protect us. Give us strength and wisdom, peace and honor. For your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and I'm not going to forget you this time.
I hope not. Good evening, Council, ladies and gentlemen, and those watching at home. And tonight we have a few community announcements to share, including the library summer reading program, the 2026 Community Day schedule, and Shakespeare in the Park, among others. The Bud Holdsworth Memorial Library is kicking off its summer reading program this week. This year's program includes a wide variety of activities for all ages, including weekly story times, Lego Club, art and science activities, scavenger hunts, crafts, family game day, and teen reading opportunities. Weekly programming will continue throughout June and July, and the full summer calendar is available online. Participants do not need a library card to join summer reading or attend the library programs. Library cards are free for Kerr County residents, and reading logs are available at the reference desk. For more information, you can contact the library at 830-258-1274 or visit the library's website. 2026 Community Day is Saturday, June 6th. Community Day will include several activities throughout the day at Kerrville Shriner Park. The morning begins with an 8 a.m. bird walk and talk at Kerrville Shriner Park, Hillside, Trailhead 3. At 9 a.m., Mountain Biking 101 will take place at the Kerrville Shriner Park, Hillside Trailhead 1. And at 10 a.m., there will be a plant swap at the Pollinator Gardens. The main community event runs from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it features food, music, and hands-on crafts for all ages. This is designed as a come-and-go event to help residents connect, learn, and enjoy the park. On another note, I have some exciting news. The beachfront at Kerrville Shriner Park is officially reopening on June 6th as well. We are excited to welcome everyone back to enjoy the river and the park. As a safety reminder, Parks and Recreation staff strongly encourage visitors to wear water shoes or other protective footwear when entering the river. This is recommended because natural water areas can have uneven surfaces or hidden hazards beneath the water. Playhouse 2000 will present Shakespeare in the Park on Friday and Saturday, June 5th and 6th. Performances begin at 8 p.m. at the Kerrville Shriner Park Outdoor Amphitheater, and residents are encouraged to bring picnic baskets, blankets, and chairs. Concessions and restrooms will be available in the recreation hall, and we hope to see the community come out and enjoy this outdoor performance. On June 13th, the Kerrville Parks and Recreation Department is hosting a cornhole tournament at the Trailhead Beer Garden, located on the Shriner University campus. The tournament begins at 5 p.m. and entry fee is $40 per team. Registration deadline is June 11th. For more information, you can contact the Parks and Recreation Department at 830-257-7300 or email recreation@kerrvilletx.gov. The Kerrville Police Department is inviting all local students to step behind the badge and learn what it takes to serve and protect our community. The Junior Citizens Police Academy will be offered in June. And this program gives youth a fun, hands-on look at law enforcement through interactive classes and activities. Students will learn about law enforcement issues, how officers serve Kerrville, and what happens behind the scenes at KPD. The program runs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 2 weeks. It's free and open to students entering 6th through the 8th grade. For more information, you can contact the Community Service Officer at 830-258-1371. And that's all I have tonight, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a lot. I
Yeah, it is.
appreciate it.
It's a busy month.
Summer is here.
You have anything for us?
Just the Smithsonian is here. It's a great exhibit at the Kerr Arts and Cultural Center. It'll be here through June 28th. It's free. It's a great history lesson on what happened in Kerrville, and it's called A Spark, a place of innovation. That's what we are.
You think? All right. We're going to move right on into presentations. Excuse me. Hardy, you want to stand up here, or do you want me to sit down next to you?
I think I understand.
I think we can.
Come on up. We tried to do this earlier. That's what I understand, but somebody else had something else to do with it.
That's right.
And it wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. You were in the hospital, so I'm glad to see you here tonight. Yeah, oh yes. I've been in the hospital a couple of times since they tried to put it on.
Oh, I'm glad.
So, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too. I was here last time I was here, it was with my two angels.
That's right.
Took me out of the house, my bird at home.
Right.
Now I'm here with this. It's a pleasure to me to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Words, I don't have the words to say because God is looking after me,
Amen.
nobody else.
Amen.
If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Amen. This is a Kerrville Kindness Award. It's been signed by the council, and it says, Raymond Julius Hardy, a Kerrville native, retired from a 20-year career in the insurance industry and immediately began pursuing his passion for serving young people with special needs through the Kerrville Independent School District. He assisted students with assignments, job training, and life skills, and also drove a school bus before retiring a second time. Raymond has always been dedicated to his community and his faith. He is an active member of First United Methodist Church, serves on the board of the Salvation Army, and contributes to the Hill Country District of Ordained Ministry. He has also previously served on the board of the Raphael Clinic. With a true servant's heart, Raymond continues to find ways to support and uplift the Kerrville community. In recognition of Raymond's commitment to service, the city of Kerrville is proud to honor him as a shining example of Kerrville kindness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say for us?
That's all. I'm just lost for words.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here.
Big, oh. No, you go. You ready to go?
I'll see you later then.
They missed the financial report.
That's great. It's pretty exciting.
You said you missed the financial report.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll catch you up later.
Okay.
It's good to see you, Mr. Hardy.
We're going this, wait, to your right, over here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good night.
I've known the Hardy family since first grade when his son Todd was a student at Starkey with me. So I've been to their house, went high school and earlier, and great folks. And he's a great athlete too. All right, let's move on into the finance report. Ms. Behrens.
Good evening, everyone. So I want to give you an update through April and then some information on preliminary budget items as we kind of trying to bring those to you in pieces over the first couple of months here before we see you again in June for our first major workshop. So looking at general fund, property tax really trending well, 95% collected, and that's very in line with what has happened over the previous 10 years, really. Just a reminder that we did that budget amendment and have moved that 600,000 from the emergency tax rate over to the capital improvement project fund restricted for improvements from repairs, for repairs from the flood. Sales tax is doing well. We estimate probably going to end 250 to 275 at year end, but keep in mind we have a 2-month lag, so I say that gently because it's really too early, but it's trending that way. We're about 5% better than last year right now. I'm gonna have a couple more pieces of information on that as we move forward. Service revenue is behind budget, but this is mostly related to EMS charges, and that is very hard to predict. So when you apply a trend to that, it's not always true to form. So we watch that every month just to see how it's comparing month over month, not just year to date. Expenses were about a little over $1 million better than budget overall, primarily personnel. But then also in the other category is contingency is in there as well. So that's one's a little bit harder to trend to, but doing well on expenses. Paving season will be kicking off. Actually, probably already was moving on paving. So we'll be seeing some other expenses come in for that as well. Just another look at sales tax, just so you can kind of know what we're watching as we trend and looking for budget for next year. So again, overall, we're about 5% ahead of where we were last year. And then you can see year-to-date totals through April all the way back to 2015. So healthy, not, the big increases that we were seeing, of course, after COVID. We know all the reasons for that. It has to level at some point. So still feel like sales tax is pretty healthy. And then we also watch it by industry to make sure there's not any shifts in that that might give us a red flag for one reason or another. Water fund tracking very close to budget estimate. Sewer is looking better than budget estimate right now. Remember that residential sewer average is based on those averaging months, and then commercial sewer is based on water consumption. So that's a little bit harder to track. We do not have irrigation meters for everyone who irrigates. So a lot of people do irrigate on their main meter. So sometimes those fall in that commercial category as well. Personnel tracking very close to budget. Everything in the water fund really looking good. Again, in the other categories, contingency, and we haven't dug into that at this point. So we'll see that over the next few months if we need to move anything for emergencies, we'll of course let you know. Couple things on our enterprise fund. So Kerrville Shriner Park, as expected, running behind budget, but we expected that, when we build a budget in the spring, we adjusted as much as we thought we could in July, but it was kind of last minute. So I will say they're making really good progress over there. If anyone has noticed, our streets department has done a fantastic job getting some paving done. And then Jay and his team are working really hard on cabin remodels. They're all stripped and ready to be put back together. And then the beach areas are looking really good too. So we're hopeful that that will be usable again in the near future. Golf course, again, behind where we'd estimate budget to be as far as revenues, but keep in mind we have a new model for 26, so those trend lines might not really be established yet, and so we're seeing a little bit of an uptick. Of course, the rain, not sure how that's impacted us yet, but I would expect that late spring and summer are going to be good months over there. Development services, I don't include this one every month, but I try to give it to you from time to time. They're actually tracking ahead of revenue budget estimate. Again, that's a little bit different because it really is based on development, and every year looks a little bit different for them, and expenses, they're doing well as well. Hotel occupancy tax, this is important because it kind of does go hand in hand with sales tax a little bit. Again, is looking into 27 for budget. I think we want to be conservative, just given that we really don't know the full impact of, the people staying here for the flood, reconstruction, and those kind of things. So we're watching that and working with Julie Davis and her team pretty carefully as they're communicating with hoteliers. If there was a better way for us to really tell who was staying for what reason, we would know more. I would like to hope that everything going on at the sports complex has had a positive impact on that in the last couple of months. I know they have been super busy if you go by there on the weekends. So we're hopeful that maybe some of this is a more sustainable increase than what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. So quick FEMA update, not a lot to report, but I will say operations with FEMA have resumed. So that's good news. We have had a kickoff meeting with our new delivery manager. We had that actually this afternoon. So we've re-engaged all of our activity to include our weekly meetings and updates and getting our staff refreshed and back on the ground so that we can look at the projects that we still have in queue that have not already been closed out. We did get word that our donated resources project looked like it's going to be approved. It still says pending award, so I'm not sure. That's about $200,000 that we should be getting back for that, unless they disallow some things, but it looks pretty good. All our public works projects are complete, really with the exception of water treatment plant. We're still doing some work over there. And then of course, parks is the major thing that we have in progress at both Louise Hayes and KSP. So a lot of work going on there. So we'll be talking with FEMA regarding some insurance allocation things, what they're going to allow and disallow. And so hopefully we can get a maximum reimbursement where we can. So quick update on preliminary budget information. And Dalton, if you want to interrupt me at any time, please feel free to do that. I'm trying to get things in front of you before the workshops in the summer. Not a lot of specifics yet. Keep in mind the general fund, it is way too early. We just don't know enough yet. But water fund, we're doing pretty well in all of our other funds. So we're here on May 26th. I just want to make sure we keep talking about these dates for the summer for both major workshops in June and July. The last couple of years, we've done that August follow-up workshop post-budget filing, and I think that's been helpful. And that way, if we need any adjustments between the proposed budget and actually the presentation of the budget and the proposed tax rate, we have that opportunity. And then you have the presentation and the first and second readings as well. So I'm not going to read all this, but I wanted it to be in the packet so that you have the information. I think this is important for us to understand the tax code and how the notice of appraised values work. And so I think it's important for the public. So the law says for residential homesteads, notices appraised values by April 1 and all other properties by May 1st or as soon thereafter as practicable. And so that's very vague as far as when tax notices have to go out for property owners. So taxpayers have until May 15th or 30 days after the mailing of your notice to file a protest. So I've been talking with KRCAD about value notices. They should be going out this week. The challenge that presents is that it pushes the protest back until late June, which just leaves a smaller window for them to produce a certified roll. So I'm not sure yet if they'll be able to get down to that fewer than 5% of total value or not. I know they're working on it, but we're communicating with them on a regular basis about that. So appraisal districts have until July 25th to provide us with either a certified roll or a certified estimate, whichever one. If they can't get below the 5% in certification, then they have to provide us with an estimated roll. So they have until July 25th, unless the July 25th falls on a Saturday, which it in fact does. So that would give them until Monday. We've asked them about that. They're going to do their best to get that to us on the 24th. We typically are here that weekend working through the tax rate calculation. That takes 2 or 3 days. So with our July 31st filing deadline, and we will meet it, it's just a little challenging there for a few days. So we would ask for some patience during that couple weeks as we try to get those things wrapped up for you. We have to have that tax rate calculation before we can even propose scenarios because we have to know what our no new revenue rate is. So again, our budget has to be filed by July 31st. It also has to be filed in GFOA format, which we have continued to talk about. Our digital budget book has made that a lot easier because it makes real-time changes. It's not perfect, but it does save us some time when we only have a couple of days to make those modifications. So the proposed budget will be filed online on the 31st and then also in the city secretary's office. So update on water fund. So we've pretty much completed what we've prepared for council. We're working on that review with the city manager to bring those discussions to you on June 16th. Just wanted to give you some high level notables here, and this is not everything, but currently it's balanced, but it's pending group health and liability insurance costs. We do have a placeholder in there, a 15% increase over what we estimate this year's actual to be. It's not looking super good on either front. We're fully anticipating our liability to be more than that. We do get a quote on that, but a little bit earlier, but health insurance will be later. So we may have to make some adjustments as we get closer into July. Utilities and gas expense, we'll keep adjusting those over the next few months. Gas being really the biggest item right now, as you all know. What you're experiencing at the pump, we're also experiencing. We currently put those rates for set equal to FY22, and that's because that was the highest gas year that we have seen. So we're hoping maybe if things start trending the other way that we might have a little bit of room there. Continued focus on sustainability. So we're really starting to see the value in our asset model that we started back in 2022. We're seeing improved fleet health, improved equipment health, lower repairs and maintenance on our fleet. And so I think that is working the way that we have modeled that out over the next 5 years. Of course, it's a little tougher in the general fund just because the dollars that are needed are a lot higher than in the water fund. But I think it's really set some good things in motion. A heavier emphasis on CIP with rising costs of projects. So as we're looking at transfers out and where the priority would be, that's what we bring into you. And then of course a set aside for facility fund for future needs. And we've been doing that. This will be the 3rd year. And so just building up for some large maintenance if we have to replace large HVACs or particular parts of facilities. So we'll have a little bit of money set aside for that. No new FTE requests in the water fund at all. We are proposing increases to reuse irrigation rates based on the 2026 budget discussions that we had with you all. And remember that this is all preliminary based on a lot of things, but right now we're proposing a very moderate increase to the base rate, but no increases on the tiered rates. And so all of this for discussion, we'll bring that to you in detail so that we can answer any questions that you might have. And if you have feedback on that in the meantime, please provide that to Dalton and he will give us some direction on how to go with that. So quick update on property tax. This is our preliminary roll. Just a few notables. So preliminary assessed value. This is as of 5/12, 4.35 billion. That's 2.6% higher than last year. Minus our exemptions of 406 million. Our net taxable is 3.86, which is 1% higher than fiscal year 26. So quite a leveling, I would say, when you look at year over year increases. But again, this is preliminary and this changes really on a weekly basis as we ask for updates from Kirkhead. Frozen right now sitting at 1.35 billion or about 33.8%. New taxable value 49.6 compared to the 71.9 we had last year, but we went through the new value with you all last year, and you know that we had a lot of subdivision changes from last year, so that's a lot more in line with average. Actually, it's a little bit above what we usually see at about 30 to 35 million. One big change in the tax law. Business personal property exemption went from 2,500 to 125,000. So for businesses that pay taxes on personal property equipment, those kind of things, they have a much larger exemption on those things. So our preliminary taxable value for business personal property about 100 million, which is 56 million lower than last year. So significant decrease in that area because of those exemptions. TERS a little bit higher, 1.7 million, and nothing notable on TERS 2 or 3 as far as value changes. But again, all of this is preliminary at this time. We watch this weekly and try to trend it as best we can when we're trying to estimate revenue. Sales tax, again, this rolling average to us is a lot more useful than it is when we're looking at month over month, like you guys see when we do financial reports each month. It can really kind of isolate some anomalies, see trends better, really considering economy, unemployment rates, things like that, increases or decreases in specific categories, which you can see on the bottom. And I've asked Jacob to kind of track this because if we have any big changes or big red flags that might indicate that sales tax is growing specifically because of the flood. So we look at, like, is food service growing? That's an expendable sales tax area, we feel like. And so if your food service is growing, to me that says it's more healthy because people are eating out more. So we just try to look at multiple factors, but these are some of our biggest ones. And this is just historical sales tax revenue year over year. Now remember, we budgeted fiscal year 26 1% higher than fiscal year 25's budget. But again, we're proposing this in July, and we have 3 months of sales tax we haven't even received yet, actually 4, because we received sales tax all the way through November for the current year. So we really have to use those trends and be as conservative as we can. You know, the flood, of course, is the major anomaly that's just really hard to single out when you're talking about 1.5% of millions. It's really hard to point that out. So, so we're going to continue to watch this, be conservative due to the volatility, and hopefully the summer will continue the trends that we're seeing now. Any questions or feedback on anything budget related or financial report.
Elaine, any questions?
I keep thinking and wondering about our reimbursements regarding from FEMA.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that in here somewhere?
It's
And-
not, because there wasn't a material change from last month. We've spent about 2.8 million, and we're over $1 million in reimbursements so far. We're waiting on our donated resources, and then we still have some work on the water treatment facility that we fully expect we will have some reimbursement from that.
Right.
And then really unknown on the parks. We've got to work through how much they're going to, because they will only replace back to or reimburse us back to the expense of pre-disaster costs. And, you know, considering what we're expensing is significantly higher, which is why we've really been trying to source outside funding to be able to build the park back in a better fashion than it was before. So there's a lot of little nuances in dealing with FEMA. And so when we work through the insurance piece and what they're going to earmark first, that comes out of what the potential reimbursement will be. So there's a lot of ifs when it comes to the parks. Those are the big guys. But I'll bring you a full update if there's any material changes next month.
Hopefully we'll get something.
I hope so, but
you can shout about.
it's going to be a while before we see anything from parks. It's going to be a while.
That's it. Thank you. Kent, all good?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the visitor citizen forum. Do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, sir, we do have one. Katie Capel.
No
No clue what she's gonna talk
I
about.
wonder what she's gonna talk about.
Gee, I don't know.
Gotta help her.
Well, I'm Katie Capel, and I live at 913 Redbud Lane, and this is Parker Lewis, who lives on Overhill, and she is here to tell us about her experience in the Bluebell Hills Parade. And we are excited because we're going to have it again this year. Last year, it had to be canceled because of the flood, but everybody's ready. So, you want to hold this? Stop a little bit. You're right there. Okay, Parker, how old are you?
I'm 9,
And what grade are you going into?
4.
What?
4.
Okay, and we were asking before, how many times do you think you've been in the parade?
6.
6.
Oh,
We have some pictures of her and your sister. What's your sister's name?
Olivia.
Olivia, and she's younger or older?
She's older.
She's older. So they have been in this parade the whole time. And what is special about this year?
Special because it's the 250th anniversary.
That's right. We're celebrating the birthday of the United States of
Country.
America with the parade. And you know, there's going to be parades all over the country probably, but this is our only Kerrville parade. And are you going to decorate your bike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Too slow for you?
No.
Anything else you want to tell about the parade? Everybody should come, huh? We have the Sons of the American Revolution are going to carry the flag this year, and the Ingram Drumline will be here.
nice.
And I hope you will all come. It starts and ends at the parking lot of Trinity Baptist Church at 9 o'clock. And there will be frozen treats and door prizes afterwards. Is there anything else about it I should tell them? You can wear a costume. You don't have to ride a bike. You can walk. No motors are allowed though. It's either walking or, and I think dogs can come too, huh? Yeah. All right, well, thank you very
Perfect.
much.
I look forward to seeing you guys.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Yes, good job, Parker.
That was a lot of fun. I went the year before last and it was a lot of fun. I walked. I have a bike,
He's here, right?
but I walked. All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Anybody else on visitor citizen forum?
No, sir.
Yeah. Next item is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and can be passed in one motion. However, any item on the consent agenda can be removed if at the request of council, staff, or member of the public. Anybody have anything to remove? We have 2 ordinances also to read in there's a second. All right. Hearing none, is there, would you mind reading in the ordinances, ma'am?
Yes, sir. And we do have one citizen who would like to speak on item 5B.
Alrighty.
Item 5A, ordinance number 2026-06, second reading and ordinance amending Chapter 110 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kerrville, Texas, such chapter more commonly known as the city's Utilities Code, by amending said code to include adding new definitions, clarifying water and wastewater fee calculations, refining provisions relating to meter tampering and theft of utilities, amending water conservation stages, amending water well provisions, and other amendments as provided herein, providing a cumulative clause, providing for severability, providing an effective date, ordering publication, and providing other matters relating to the subject. Item 5B, ordinance number 2026-08, second reading, an ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kerrville, Texas, such chapter more commonly known as the city's Alcoholic Beverages Code, by amending said code to delete the local fee, amending the penalty section to account for the deletion of the local fee, providing a cumulative clause, providing for severability, providing an effective date, ordering publication, and providing other matters relating to the subject.
Thank you. And a citizen speaker on 5B.
George Baruti.
Ready?
George Baruti, 1616 Glen Road. So I talked about it before when this on first reading, and I would just would urge you to consider tabling this until you ask a few questions before you eliminate a fee that collects some revenue that I think everybody understands that the government currently is short of. I believe this is just in a response to the legislature saying not that you couldn't charge this fee, but that you could not charge for this fee as well as a health permit fee on the same establishment. And I offered a suggestion last time, but even if you don't ask it, just ask how much is if someone has a TABC license at their establishment, how much are they charged, how much could they be charged for that local fee, and how much could they be charged for the health permit fee? And what you find is probably 90% of them, it's considerably more for the alcohol fee. Because you are allowed to charge 50% of the TABC fee. And your health permit fee is, in general, $200 or less per year. The TABC thing, doing a little study, ends up being like $400, $500, $600 a year for someone who has one. So I would urge you to look at ways to hold on. Don't remove this fee from the fee schedule. Just modify how you charge for these two fees so that you're compliant with the law. The legislation just changed. That way you don't have to lose. It's not just a couple of $1,000s. You're looking at, I mean, it's not huge. She just ran over the budget. It's not huge in comparison to your total budget, but it's thousands of dollars that you're giving up. And a place like, for instance, Specs, they don't have a health permit. So they're going to be charged. They're not going to be charged a fee that I think is somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 a year. They won't be charged that anymore. So you're giving that up if you remove this. So all I'm suggesting is table it the second reading, go ask the few questions, ask the value judgment, and see if there's a way to be compliant without giving up the bigger of these fees. Thanks.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
Does anyone want to pull 5B from the consent agenda? Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, and 5E from the, in the consent agenda section.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. It passes unanimously. Thank you, George. Second reading on another ordinance. Would you mind reading that in, please?
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2026-06, second reading. An ordinance amending Chapter 60 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kerrville, Texas, such chapter more commonly known as the City Zoning Code, by amending said code to include adding new definitions, revising setbacks, and the off-street parking schedule, adding new supplemental development requirements, revising the land use table and other amendments as provided herein, providing a cumulative clause, providing for severability, providing an effective date, ordering publication, and providing other matters relating to the subject. There are no citizen speakers signed up.
Thank you, ma'am. This was not in the consent agenda because there were some changes between the first reading and the second reading. And we thought it'd be wiser to consider to talk about those. Are you ready, Mr. Paxton?
Yes. As you can see in the ordinance, pages 15 through 18, we did add the other supplemental requirements for the battery energy storage systems and data centers and the farmers market to allow some provisions for a farmers market to be on a vacant lot with consideration of traffic, parking, and setbacks, restroom facilities, to make sure those vacant lots can adequately support a farmers market. Be pleased to go in more detail if you'd like, or you've got it in your backup.
Any questions for Mr. Paxton?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Paxton, just for the ones that aren't here with us this evening, that are probably watching at home or whatever, there was a lot of talk and concern about the battery storage facilities as well as the data centers, saying that everybody in Kerrville wanted, or at least the city council wanted that because we voted for it. We, conferring with Dalton and William about this, and Michael, just for clarification, for everybody in town, in the county, or whoever, wherever they're watching from, we did vote on this on the first reading, and we have it in front of us again tonight. And we added churches as part of the deal that you couldn't have it within, and 500 feet, because originally I said a mile.
Right.
And Dalton was like, if you do a mile, it takes it out of our hands and out of our control, and it turns it back over to the state for property owners' rights, where they can come in and kind of dictate. So the reason we did what we did, and we looked at it at 500 feet with adding the churches and the schools and, you know, everything else that's in here, which is churches, child care, daycare facilities, hospitals, playgrounds, public or private schools, public park, or residential districts. Pretty much that is going to limit or eliminate even anywhere in the city of Kerrville. That one of those. So we had to do it strategically to protect our citizens. So am I correct in everything that I just said through our conversations?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So we don't want them, but we have to be proactive in the way that we say we don't want them. So that's why. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Comments or questions?
Clear as mud. No, very clear, very clear.
All right, is there a motion in on 6A?
I move we approve ordinance number 2026-07 on the second reading with the adjustments made.
I'll second.
Motion's
I
been made.
think Crystal beat me.
You want a second one? Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, so vote. And it passes unanimously. Item 7A, Resolution 24, 2026. Ms. Behrens.
Good evening again. I know Michael can speak on this as well. I guess you were going to. Sorry, you want it?
No. Woo.
Jay told me to do it. So very quickly, a lot of focus on the downtown area, and the TERS board has agreed to fund the renovation, or I would say upgrades, to the restrooms down there, about $5,000. So because it is expenditure of TERS funds, then it requires city council approval. So be repainting fixtures, those kind of things. So just asking for your approval of that $5,000 spend.
I just kind of, a couple of questions. So Dalton and I talked, city manager earlier, to protect the improvements that we're about to put in there, whether they're just light fixtures or door handles or whatever. What is the procedure, or could we just get some clarification on when it will be locked, if it will be locked?
It's locked in the evenings, is my understanding, is that right?
Is it?
It's
Okay.
locked every evening.
And then what is our agreement with Arcadia to, I barely know, I know they do something, but I don't know what it is, and.
My understanding is the agreement is 2 cleanings per week is what it is. Now there's a considerable amount of population that runs through there, and this is a public restroom, not dissimilar from our parks restrooms, which people have a tendency not to respect all the time. It's a nice way of putting it. And so that bathroom does get some.
You know, and then do it, like, is it after the weekend, or?
It is after the weekend. I think
It's okay.
I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's Mondays and Thursdays, or Mondays and Fridays, I believe. We can clarify.
Well, I have had some complaints given to me about minor things that were wrong with it when someone went in there, but okay, so now I know more than I knew, and so we'll go from there.
Any other comments or questions?
And sir, we do have one citizen speaker.
Thank you. If no other comments or questions, citizen speaker.
George Brody.
Mr. Brody.
Yeah, George Brody again, obviously. So this is about this item and the next one, and it's really not about the item itself, more administratively. I believe there's a misunderstanding about how the TERS are supposed to be funding stuff. The state law doesn't require it to come to council. And my recollection of TERS number 1 is that the ordinance didn't require it to come to council either. So just so you understand, this is coming to you, and that's great. But I mean, it's more openness, I guess. But it's not like EIC. You don't actually have to have council approval to approve it, because you've already implicitly given them the authority to fund anything under their project finance plan, which was approved by council. And this would theoretically qualify under that, and therefore they've already been given the authority. So it's nice that you guys are giving them a yay or nay, but administratively, if you set up another TERS, you might look at putting in the ordinance the creation that is requiring it to come back to council, because this one doesn't. Thanks.
Any other visitors?
No, sir.
Mr. Tosh, you want to weigh in on that?
I'd have to look at the TERS
Okay.
documents in order to give.
We have it on our agenda. Let's go ahead and act on this, and then we'll worry about it on the next one. Any discussion then on item 7A? Has we gotten a motion yet? I can't remember. Is there a motion then on 7A?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 24-2026, TERS number 1, expenditure not to exceed $5,000 for update of downtown restrooms.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and quietly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. And it passes unanimously. Item 7B. Mr. Hornets, your name's on this one.
Waiting for Julie to stand up. No. Okay. Mayor and Council, thank you for taking the time tonight. This is a addition to a project that started with TERS that was the facade improvement grant. In the scope of receiving those applications, there were a considerable number of applicants who had requested improvements to their parking lot. So the grant itself covers as exterior improvements that are kind of publicly visible. And so as the board was discussing it, they did 2 things. One, they asked for an increase to that program from $50,000 to $100,000. Because it didn't have a chance to fund all programs, which came before you previously. And then subsequently, they wanted to consider adding $50,000 towards upgrading these parking lots within the TERS district that run through this application process. So what you have before you tonight is the resolution. you have the kind of the outline of the program, and then a draft application agreement, essentially. With that, I'll turn it over for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Hornis?
No, but the parking lot where the cash and loan place is, where I go cut through to get Jimmy John's, that's really bad.
Police
I don't know
department's
who-
not here, so I'm glad that
Who, what?
the police department's not here to hear that.
Well, she said she goes to Jimmy John. She's using it.
Sorry, I go to all of them
There
actually,
you go.
all sub shops.
Any other questions or comments? For motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 25, 2026.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. It passes unanimously. Item 7C, Travis Street Booster Pump Station Expansion. Mr. Burrow.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the Travis Pump Station Expansion Project that essentially everything on the 534 loop that is served through the stadium tanks that we're all familiar with. This has one up kind of by Tyview Mountain that we've got 1 million gallons of storage. We just don't have enough pumping capacity to get there. Now that we've got the high school, the middle school, we've got a lot of development interest in that part of town, specifically Lennar. I think we have, 2 apartment facilities that came in that we had to deny because there was not enough capacity. What this does is upgrades the pumps at the current Travis pump station to get enough water up to meet the demands on the other side of that hill on the 534 side. This was started back in 23. We hired Freese and Nichols. We had to, because it's part of the water system, we had to submit it to TCQ, and there currently is not a storage tank. And so one of the requirements from the TCQ review was that we had to put a storage tank in. In the master plan, we were a little over $500,000 for the project. This bid tonight is $1.3 million. The reason being largely is that storage tank that we had to add, in addition to the time that has passed while we were waiting for TCQ review. I did talk to the contractor, and basically they acknowledged the price if we get to it before June 1st. Their vendors have already said that they can get a PO into their hands before May 31st. They will acknowledge this price and will not have any increases. That's how volatile this market is, and as Julie alluded to earlier, that's the difficulties we're running into. So if you have any other questions, let me know. This qualified contractor, we're ready to go.
Questions for Mr. Burrow?
City manager and I talked about this earlier. Now I understand the reason it is the number that it is. Thanks.
Where exactly is the storage tank going to be?
So we have enough on the site itself. It's just going to be a very small 16,000 gallon, but it'll be right there at 3rd and Travis. That's actually where there was an old well that was there. There was an old 500,000 gallon tank that we had demolished back in 2008 and have not used since.
Right there at the sharp curve between 3rd and Travis?
Yes, sir. Right across from the LCRA substation. So just that little, it looks like an abandoned lot. That's actually our well site.
Okay, and that, even though you say it's a small storage tank, that'll be adequate to serve on Loop 534?
So the main storage is College Cove. But the TCEQ rules require any pump station to have storage. So we just asked Freese and Nichols to design us something that was small enough not to cavitate the lines and cause bigger issues, but also check the box with TCEQ, get it to where we can up to our 1 million gallons of storage at College Cove, just up the hill.
Questions for Mr. Burrow? That's a lot of money.
It is.
Doesn't go as far as it used to.
Is there a motion then?
Even more.
Is there a motion then on item 7C?
I make a motion on item 7C to authorize execution of the contract with the Texas Water and Sewer Company for Travis Street Booster Pump Station expansion.
For a second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor, so vote. And it passes unanimously. Next item is appointments to the EIC. Mr. McKinney?
Yes, so 3 spots open to cycle off, one that is, had served their full time commitment. So Gilberto Bez and Beck Gibson are up and available for a second term. And I would recommend that or move that they be reappointed. And then for the vacant spot, I would move that Justin Foster fill that place.
Second.
I'll second. Oh, you seconded it.
Second, I was on the design committee interview team. Any comments or questions? Have a motion, a second. All in favor, so vote. Tell them they are hereby appointed. Executive session. Action in executive session. Items for future agendas. As a council becomes organized, one of the things that we do is we appoint members as liaisons to different organizations in the city. I'm going to ask between now and the next council meeting for city secretary to distribute the current list of committees on which council serves. What I would like to know is if you would like to continue serving in that area or you'd like to serve somewhere else, okay? These appointments are made by seniority, okay? So if you are the most senior member here and you want to stay on a committee, you're going to stay on that committee, okay? But if you want to move on to something else, those will all be made by seniority. So expect in your email before the next meeting a list of those committees on which council serves as liaison, and then review where you serve, and then we'll come back and we'll get everybody sorted out. Okay? All right. Any other items for future agendas? I didn't beat Jeff's record, but 52 minutes isn't a bad meeting. Adjourned.
That's right.
You were.